Hello learners, today we will be covering Inter-Organizational Dynamics, Managing Alliances and Coalition, Unit 11 of MMPS 06 Organizational Dynamics. Let's see what is alliance. Alliance is a concept which is a cooperative arrangement between two or more independent organization. This is called strategic alliance when all the arrangements has been done through the organization from the top management. These alliances can occur within the same country domestically, across different countries, that is on international level, or maybe across various points in the supply chain. They go beyond one-time deals, serving as ongoing collaborations to pursue future opportunities, recognized since the early 1970s as a key business strategy. So, alliance is basically a cooperative and collaborative arrangement of the organization, whether it is domestically, internationally, or maybe from the different points. There are certain key benefits of strategic alliance. They are gaining synergistic benefits, combating competitive threats, assessing the latest technology, expanding market research, improving financial strength, achieving a sustainable competitive advantage. Alliances help the organization to respond to uncertainty in the market. They give the signal or maybe the directions that the firm is taking proactive action. Alliances are good for extending or reinforcing competitive edge, but not usually sufficient to create it alone. They create new possibilities that wouldn't exist if each partner operated independently. So, being a cooperative arrangement and a collaborative effort, the strategic alliances not only help in taking care of the competition, they aware the organization of the competitive strength due to rapid technological advances and rapid changes in the industry. Every day we see the changes in the latest technologies are coming on and on. A lot of market research is being done through many scholars. So alliances also help the organization to create the financial strength and the ecosystem creates in a way that everybody is benefited out of it. Not only the organization but also the employees of an organization to face the uncertainties which is happening in the market due to external or internal environment. The organizations are taking proactive action or they are reactive. That can be done through the strategy because when they collaborate, when they sit together for the strategy formations and alliances, they work, the partners or the firms work or the companies work on taking a proactive action, keeping in mind the uncertainties or maybe the threats which are assumed or which are seen through their experiences or through the market research. Even it is very beneficial to create the competitive edge within the industry. It is seen that why if a person independently works, it may not be so much of beneficial. So strategic alliances is very important to create an environment where everybody is benefited out of it being in the competitive world. There are different forms of strategic alliances. It can be highly formalized or it can be informal. When it is highly formalized, it is inter-organizational relationship where the two organizations come together and they work on the strategies to work accordingly as per the market trends, market research, or maybe the competitor to face a competitive edge. It can be formal also, where when we talk about the informal relationship, there is no shared ownership or shareholding within the alliances. It is mostly within two firms on a very informal setup, and it is mainly on the small scale industry. But when we talk about the highly formalized, it is more of formally managed or structured organizations. In informal, there is not much of collaboration is seen because the ownership is not shared. and there is no shareholding of all the alliances. Only one person take care of it is an independent entity. But yes, when we talk about the alliances structure, they sometimes take it on a very informal mode. There are certain factors which influence the form of an alliance. Forming an alliance is a very strategic decision which is taken care by the organization or the firms. First is asset management. Asset management is mainly when the firms or the organizations come together with their own assets. Asset separatability. How easily assets can be separated between the firms. Asset here means a fixed asset, or maybe the assets which are appropriately, which are captured, and the values of assets can be easily can be protected within the firms. Common forms of alliances can be networks, opportunistic alliances, subcontracting, licensing and franchises, consortia, joint ventures, mergers and acquisitions. Joint ventures can be involved more of two or more independent organization. It create a jointly owned organizations, and each parent firm retain its independence. So when we talk about the factors, it is mainly surround itself by the assets management, where the separability and appropriable assets are uh, it is protected or captured by the firms or between the firms. So the alliances can be done when we just saw in the previous slide about the informal. It is more of a networking. Sometimes alliances can be opportunistic in a way which, for example, if an organization is running on a very high-end technological advances, any other firm or any organization wanted to merge or get collaborate with them on the transfer of knowledge. So that is an opportunity alliance. Subcontracting is more of an outsourcing alliances. Franchisees is a very known model for licensing and franchising for the retail or outlets or retailing business structure. Joint ventures are the mergers and acquisitions between the two firms, where they themselves were working independently as an independent organization, but when they come together, they come with a mutual benefit, and of course with a mutual objective. So then it comes as a termed as a joint ventures. Formal and informal strategic alliances. When we talk about the formal alliances, it is more of a joint venture and consortia. Joint ventures is mostly it's not mostly, it is actually between the two organizations, two firms on a very contractual mode. There are agreements, shareholding agreements have been made, contracts has been made where the details of the assets and even the profit sharing and profit distribution is mentioned on them. Each clause is mentioned in detail about the joint ventures. Joint management of assets is required in relationship when we talk about the formal organizations, formal alliances. Assets are separated from parent firms without serious negative impact. For example, expertise in joint venture can be shared without harming the parent company. When we talk about the joint ventures, it comes together. It comes with their own expertise without even impacting negatively on the parent company or the base company, because the company which is coming, they are aligned together for the common objective, for example, for the technological advances or the knowledge sharing. Let's see what are the informal alliances. Informal alliances is the most common is networking, and of course the opportunistic alliance, where the firms see the opportunity within a specific trade or a specific business or maybe any structure, so they come together on a contractual basis. There is no formal ownership of the alliances. It is basically mainly based on the contract. Contracts again are most of the time it is written, but yes, if it is on a very informal way, then within the small firms it can be on the verbal contracts also, but mainly it is an agreement, a contract, and sometimes people come together for the alliances to be because of the network or because of the family or friends or expertise in that particular area. If they are very much well known with the business owners or the founders of an organization. Informal alliances operate on the basis of mutual trust and advantage. Mutual trust is very important because here there is no specific shareholding or ownership of the assets. So it is more between the two people who already know each other, or maybe some mutual agreement has been made between them. It is more of a trust basis. It is more flexible, typically project or venture specific, and it is suitable when the risk of managed assets is appropriate, know-how or the skills is high if assets are shifted to new entity. Collaboration is required, which it needs to be adaptable, which is needs to be very flexible, and it is done by with a agreement or with a mutual trust between the two organizations or two people or the two founders together. Let's see what is intermediate form of alliances. It is neither formal, not fully informal. It is a in between arrangement of the firms of the organization, which is mainly very commonly known as franchisee operations or the franchisee. Franchisee manage your key activities like manufacture or distributions. Franchisees handle branding, marketing, and training. We have seen in the retail organizations or retail oriented organizations, the franchisee model is very common among them, where the parent company or the main company um, comes in front to take care of the branding, the marketing, and the training of their entire staff. It is seen at the most of the clothing outlets. It is seen at the food joints. It is seen at the cosmetic companies or the salons, which are seen on the retail franchises. Licensing. One firm grants another the right to manufacture a patent product for a fee. The license is given by the parent company to the contractors, where they allow to manufacture and their own patent product, and they get the fee for that. So they give the license to product. It is mainly in the manufacturing concern, which is seen and taken care by the quality control assurance people, and it is manufactured under the patent product, which is by already registered by the parent company, and they charge some specific fee out of that. Subcontracting is again a very common and very known business process where the firms outsource the services, components of the product to the another firm. For example, a company is into a cosmetic brand and they want the subcontracting for their one specific product. So they outsource those services to small units or small manufacturing units to create or to produce that particular cosmetic brand, one specific brand in which they are expertise into. Otherwise, and overall, if we talk about the services, the security personnel are outsourced by most of the organization, and they are under the subcontractors on the roles of third parties. So that is called intermediate forms. So intermediate alliances are basically, on a contractual relationship without ownership involvement. So any contractor or any subcontractor or franchisee doesn't have the ownership of that particular brand or particular process or particular product. So this is basically known as an immediate arrangement. The common when specific assets can be separated from the parent organization. Setting up manufacturing or distribution in a foreign country with operational challenges. This is one of the examples when we talk about the immediate arrangements. Strategic purpose of partnership is used for profit, for growth, and especially for cross-border expansion. Cross-border means internationally, and it is seen in the domestic also to geographically. For example, a company have a corporate office or headquarter at Mumbai, and they want their products to be manufactured at northern India in a exempted area, which is maybe in the industry-oriented export units or something like that. So there they look out even on the domestic operations, also domestic expansions on the other part of the country. So long-standing practice is very much in the global businesses as well, where the manufacturing is done from and it has been distributed to the parent company for China is known for the best manufacturers or the bulk manufacturing of the products of all the branded additives, the contract or uh, the manufacturing is outsourced to all the manufacturing concerns over there. Even it is seen in the domestic operations in India also about some of the brands. Historical motivation and mercantilism. Initially, alliances were driven by desire to capture market or former colonies, but access to raw materials and low-cost input. So basically, when it comes from an initial stage of the alliances, when the alliances structure concept comes into the industry, so it was come with a excess of raw material on the particular geographical locations, and of course to desire to capture the market of the former colonies. Later on, the early cross-border alliances, where later on they comes up with with the other advantages where they get the partners for former colonial power, and the local partners acted as market entry points or maybe also as a resource supplier. It can be done on a manufacturing as well as even sometimes on a services organizations also. So power dynamics and control. Here, the dominant partner, the main partner, the parent company usually have management control. Equity investment is with them. Unidirectional communication and the decision making is with the parent company or the base company. Focus on home country shareholder interest. So here the dominant partner or the major who have the major shareholding, they have the entire control of decision making processes and the communication unidirect. All the communication from the related to the policies or the strategy making is given by the dominant partner or the parent company. Then there is limited conflict in early alliances. Lack of major disputes are due to historical colonial ties and a perceived teacher-discipline relationship between the partners. Because when we talk about the alliances, the early alliances, everybody look out for someone who is expertise in that particular area. So there is a limited conflict because one is mentor, another is mentee, or maybe one is teacher and other is discipline. So there is less scope of conflict and the relationship between the partners. Now, why it is important for the cross-border business partnership? It is not only because of the technological advances in some specific geographical area, but also about the customer preferences, their taste. Rapid disposal and diffusion of technology is the major factor, of course, and increasing results of its obsolescence. So it is seen that the cross-border business partnerships are mainly done not only due to technology but also with the customer preferences, how what they prefer and what is the taste. If we really talk about the food industry, where the cross-border business partnership, we have seen a lot of food joints which are coming, which has come up from last few decades. So it is because of the taste and changing the preferences or uh, the customer preferences on clothing brands. So it is because of that also, and of course on the internalization of financial markets. The emergence of global competition is very high in certain, let's talk about the IT industry also, because of the technological advancements and upcoming softwares and processes. So global competition has risen to an extent where they need to do business partnership with the international organizations, not only to manage the technology or the need of a customer, but also for the, to cope up with the global competition within worldwide. The implications of development. The implications of development after the strategic alliances are the markets are becoming ever so large, and the single organization to service efficiently. The risk of technology dispersion and obsolescence makes a sound case for forming alliances. The internalization of financial market facilitate listing by companies in various big courses. This is turn creates the need for local partners to foster investor confidence. The emergence of global competition further fuels the need for alliances among national companies. So, when we talk about the implications of some specific processes or developments, it's not only taking care of the risk factor, lowering the risk factor, but also increasing the increase in the markets. It is not only with the servicing, it is not only because of the process, but also for the financial markets and creating local partners to encourage them to invest in that particular organization where they're providing the services or the products, and of course to cope up with the global organization, global competition, and it not the global competition is very important because it not only encourage the international organizations comes to the domestic country, but also it comes with the processes, it comes with the technology, it comes with the finance. So overall, the economy impact on the economy is very high. The markets have increased in a very big way. Strategic alliances in developing country markets. Developing country markets. Let's talk about the countries where still the development is going on. First is appeal to strategic alliances. Attractive for companies in developing market. In India, for example, in India, we see that we are seeing strategic alliances with international brands is going on and on. It's not only in the clothing or food or cosmetics or any FMCG brand, but also in the IT sector. A lot of global companies are coming up for to India for the strategic alliance. The here the motivation comes from where, because we wanted to grow, because the developing countries always have urge to grow and leverage their own strengths. Survival and competence for smaller and resource constrained firms is liberalized in liberalized economies. So these are the two motivations which where there is urge of you know uh, urge of growth and to be create an environment where everybody grows and they may become a developed country like the other countries like US. So the strategic this is attraction for the companies in a developing market. So there are examples of strong local players forming alliances like Tata Group in India and Samsung and Korea. The alliance to expand the strengthened global presence. So Senmar in India is started a small company in Tamil Nadu, and this successfully created a global fronts through a series of strategic alliances. So the alliances is not only among for the growth, but also for increasing the entire economic ecosystem. Strategic alliances is a market entry mode. Common strategy for entering Latin America, Asia, and Eastern European markets. It is used for in about half of market entry case in these regions. There are some examples, which is one is Japan Brazil alliances, where Nintendo and JVC Japan form alliances with Grenadine, that is in Brazil, enable faster market penetration in Brazil, and the products are marketed under both Japanese and Brazilian brand names. So here the benefits of Grenadine is it gain the manufacturing skills, improve the profitability, and secure the market position. So it is not only because of the technology, but also to make their foots, make their stand strong in the markets, as if this example shows. Let's talk about specifically on India, the alliances in India. First is economic liberalization as a catalyst. Economic policy reforms opened the Indian economy to global market in post 1991, and it led to surge in alliances between Indian firms and transnational firms, or maybe the multinational firms. Here, the economic policies allows them, or they liberalize to on the global firms to come together to alliance with the domestic or the Indian firms to create as I have said, create an economic ecosystem where everybody is benefited, not only the country but as an individual also. So the alliances trends and statistics in India is around in total in 4470 alliances between Indian companies and transnational post liberalization. In 1995, the wave started. In a lot of multinationals were comes to India, and there was a trend, there was a wave of multinational, and it comes with a figure of 285 alliances, where in 1995, within a span of 4 years, it has reached to this wave or a trend to 1208 alliances. So it is almost more than 5 times or 4 times, more than 4 times of alliances within the span of 4 years. There are certain key drivers of alliance formation in India. First is policy formation, the relaxation in FERA and MRTP Acts, and IDRA, that is Industrial Development and Regulations Act, where they allow the multinationals to come to India and or maybe outsource the manufacturing units in India, or the processes. So we have seen in the past few years that how the BPO's industry comes up in a very strong way. And back in 1990s, 91, 95, 93, there were a lot of multinationals which comes in India because of this policies liberalizations. Then there is also a shift from greenfield investments to mergers and alliances to enter the new sectors or consolidate existing operations. The mergers and alliances were happened to start the new segment, to start the new processes. So this has also happened in one of the reason of the mergers and acquisitions. Then corporate restructuring, where the organizations realign their core competencies and with their objectives, and they seek more agile and focused business model for the better profitability, and fulfilling the objective of not only the organization but also the on an individualistic approach as well. So role of BIFR is also very important, where the Board of Industrial and Financial Reconstruction changed the criteria of declaring a firm sick. It was seen in the old days that the firms declare themselves as sick industries, where they get into the losses and they cannot be able to survive due to financial losses. but firms no longer required to post 2 consecutive years of losses. Net worth erosion alone was sufficient. So this resulted is more when the industries declare themselves to be as a sick firm or sick organization. It comes a lot of other organizations which are surviving in the industry. They take over, they merge with them, or they acquire, or they come up with the alliances targets, and the losses can be covered, or they support them in terms of finances or the human resources or maybe the other resources which is required. There are certain challenges and realities of strategic alliances in India. When it comes to in India being the developing industry, and back in after the reformations or restructures, of course there were reduced legal barriers, legal hurdles to merge and alliances has been removed. That enables the organizations to easily take over or merge with the sick industries or maybe collaborate for the further advances or creating a structure, restructuring their organizations. Second is historical trend in is alliance waves. When the wave came, previous waves of mergers and alliances were in 77 to 85, and then it was seen in 89 to 90. And the peak was on 1995, where a lot of organizations comes with with their own brands, and it was seen that most international or the multinational firms are set up in in India. When we talk about the Delhi NCR, Gurgaon is one of the best example on the merger and acquisitions, because whenever the companies that time came to India had their corporate offices in Gurgaon, and now it is one of the hub which is seen as a hub of multinational companies. All the big international brands have their offices there. That was in time of somewhere in 1995, 91 to 95. So the differences in 90s wave was no longer dominated by single major player. It was involved a wide range of firms. Either it can be small or large or low profit or high profile companies, Indian industries, companies, or foreign mergers and acquisitions, processes, manufacturing, retail. So every kind of organization were there during that particular period. The wave of strategic alliances was very much high, irrespective of the size of the company or the financials of the company organizations. So rising number of alliance failure, or we can say the divorces. While alliances increased, so did the failures also. The concerns of alliances was effectiveness as a long-term strategic tool. It is said that when the wave comes, some of the organizations churned out, and the remaining organizations who get into the alliances, who have the strong base, they only survive, and some of flow out from the wave, which is also a term as alliance failure. Because when the companies comes together, a lot of arrangements has been done on the restructuring, reformations, asset managements, or maybe the restructuring, realigning the objectives. So everything cannot be done on a positive way out. So there were certain failures which happened due to a sudden increase of alliances. The fourth is common misconceptions and managerial shortcomings. There is a misbelief that alliances are meant to be permanent. Alliances cannot be meant to be a permanent. It can be, if the organization can merge, they can separate anytime as per the agreement or as per the contract between them. Executives often focus too much on financial screening of partners. Because it neglects sometimes the human and the relational aspects. the promotion of the alliance, the benefits from the alliance to the shareholders, and don't enable managers to realize those benefits. And they prioritize control over collaboration. So the result comes to be as company fail to build collaborative advantage or key strategic asset. So alliance is not only a contract, not only an agreement. It is a collaborative effort, collaborative based on the agreements or the trust, the alliances, because then only it is known to be as the strategic alliance. This is the reality, because if the strategic alliances or the collaborative the companies comes together and merge together or require, if they only look out for the financial status or the financial benefits, then it may not goes to the long term. It may for it may fail, it may comes to a disagreement or the loss of the contract. So importance of effective alliance management is also because of successful alliance require management principles, which we will discuss further. So there is always seen as some specific principles which are you know comes out of the challenges and the realities which on the real incidents or real situations. So these are the few principles of effective strategic alliance. First is tenet of maximization. Second is tenet of flexibility. Then is clarity. Tenet of value additions. Tenet of autonomy. Tenet of ownership. And tenet of matching. So all these seven principles are very important when we talk about the maximization. It is not only maximizing the profits or maximizing the profit generation activities, but also the human resource activities are involved, keeping in mind the human interventions in the strategic alliance is very important. It has to be flexible in terms of, because with the change environment due to external or internally, there should always be a scope of flexibility. The goals should be very clear and to everyone among the partners or the alliances. Unless it is not clear, it may lead to the mistrust, or it may lead to the misguidance to the other people in the organization. Value addition is very important when the two experts, when it's a strategy, the alliance is done on the expertise basis. So when it is done on a value addition, it should come with a the new things, new reforms, new policies. The ownership has to be very clear. It has to be within the agreement in terms of either formal or informal. So matching in terms of not only the relationship between the partner, but also whether the alliance can be benefit the parent company or the base company or not. So these are the few principles which helps in effective strategic alliances. There are certain key learnings in strategic alliance. First is misunderstood or vague objectives. Alliances fail due to unclear and unconditional goals between the partners. If the goals are not clear, it will be very difficult to cope up with the uncertainties. Underestimating cultural differences. When the strategic alliances on national or even on the international level is done, so it comes with a diverse background people. So cultural complexities has to be taken care of. Overhyped expectations in emerging market is one of the key learning, where the global and local partnerships are often viewed as guaranteed success due to market potential. The complexity in strategic alliances from similar economic or cultural backgrounds, if it's not same, that it may fail. The lessons for Indian businesses: Understanding the partner's motivation. For example, the two firms comes together for an alliance. One of the partner is very motivated for the growth and making the alliance in a technological advances, but the other partner or the other firm or an organization wanted to run on a old methodology or old traditional technicals. So there the motivation doesn't match it out. So that may create a thrift between the two partners or two organizations, two firms. So it may happen not only on this factor, but it may happen on the cultural factors also, on the financial mismatches also. So consequences of misalignment is when issues aren't resolved very quickly. More it is with the partners if they do not sit and they do not restructure, they do not talk, or open communication, lack of open communication happen, it may result in further dissolve. Key challenges in strategic alliances is size differential, ownership structure, conflicting objective, cultural differences, and management styles. Size differential is mainly with the size of an organization, not in terms of financial, but also a structure of an organization. Or what is whether it is SMEs or MSMEs or it is a large organization. So that if that alliance can not only be a equal alliance, that can be a acquiring alliance. So that depends on an organization to organization size, because it is very important challenge. The big organization may overlap the small organization employees within when they get into alliances. Ownership structure, whether it is formal or informal or intermediate, or what is how many people are there, what are the hierarchy of that people, what is the authority and responsibilities of those people. Conflicting of people working in an organization, conflicting objective relates with the there has to be a common objective of the when it comes to an alliance. So if the objectives are not aligned between the alliance strategic alliance, then it will be very difficult to cope up with the other threats. Cultural differences is also very important challenge when it comes to an international alliance or multinational alliances. And even on the domestic, also it is seen that the people from different geographical locations come together and they have to work. So due to cultural differences between the alliances may also create a thrift between the on the alliances part. It is that is why nowadays the companies are really focusing on DEI and strategies and taking care of diversities and equal opportunities, and also it is not only about equal opportunities, also diversified people who are coming together from different backgrounds and different cultural. So management style is again very important, which is again a very key challenge. There has to be restructure when they come in a alliance if they are from a different management style, how they are running an organization. For example, one organization is in a informal way of communication, and one is centralized and one is decentralized. So there they need to restructure their management style of whether it has to be centralized or decentralized, or that has to be common, that has to be on a same they have to sit on the same table to restructure and further work it out on these alliances. So there are certain external and evolutionary changes which affects the strategic alliances. First is expansion of free trade zones. Free trade zones encourage the companies to adopt a regional strategies instead of focusing on individual national joint ventures. So most of the multinationals invest in many states to capitalize on interstate competition for foreign direct investments, or maybe they subscale in certain regions. Second is consolidation of local companies. Consolidation is of local companies means when they merge, when the local companies comes together in response of globalization or regulation. So when the local companies comes together and they merge together to give the services to the multinational or maybe a big organization. Error of judgment, where the multinational companies may sometimes misjudge their local partners' capabilities, or they may result in loss of trust and the desire to increase control. Sometimes when the multinational takes merge or take over or have the alliance with the small companies or maybe the local market companies, they wanted to have a control on even the decision making. So sometimes it is not happening if it is in a in a joint venture. So there it may lead to thrift between the alliance. So growth of emerging market is very important, where it is increasingly the global companies are compelled to reevaluate their existing strategic alliance, because day by day the markets are emerging, markets are growing. So it is very important for restructuring or reevaluating their own existing operations or structure. Changing priorities of local partners, where the local family owned business in emerging markets are frequently seeking to restructure alliance. How the alliances evolve. There are certain stages, as we have seen on the personal life also, when it comes to a starting of marriage or alliance between the two people, and how they get into different stages. So first stage was courtship when they meet together, then it comes to a romantic nature of alliance, then it comes to compatibility, where they lead to a thing that they are compatible to each other. Then it is when it's agreed that yes, they are compatible, they get into engagement phase, and finally after the engagement they get into a marriage. This is the alliance between the two people when they come together to form a family. So similarly, when we talk about the organizational alliances, it is an courtship phase is an initial interaction where they evaluate the mutual interest or attracted by the potential collaboration. There, the exploratory phase happens where the alliance making options are making. Marketing arrangements have been done, meetings can be done, licensing process of licensing can be explored. The main objective is whether the relationship is worth pursuing, whether we should go along with this alliance or not. So the open dialogue and the trust building is very important in this, and the initial compatibility, which relates with the strategic goals, culture, and resources, are explored by the partners. Then it comes to the romantic nature, where the hopes and dreams comes in the picture, where the alliance organization who wanted to get into joint venture or merger or wanted to align together, they comes with the ambitions, they comes with the future dreams. If for example, if we come together, what can be the profit of a company, how the company will grow, and the fear of missing out the rare opportunities also always be there in the risk. As I said, between the alliance between the two people, when there is always a risk of losing a partner, there is always a risk of missing out that opportunity. Or similarly in the organization also, when they think about coming together after a few meetings or after analysis or chemistry or the compatibility, they think so self analysis has been done to create a confidence among each other, to strengthen the foundation, to within the changing environments and making coming out of the potential benefits. So this chemistry and rapport is the personal branding. It is a personal bond. It is the personal chemistry can make or break the relationship. So this is how happens in the romantic nature. Then after the romance, after the everything is done, then it comes to the real picture, that is compatibility, whether we are compatible or not, whether the philosophical or the strategic goals are aligned or not, whether the compatibility, the strong partnership is very crucial factor. Here the values, vision, mission of a company, future goals are very essential. This set the stage, this set the approach where the problems and the decisions come together. So initial relationship building with the experiences, principles, vision, mission of a company. So there it comes together on the same page, and they build the trust and think about that it is good, we are compatible, and let's go more with the partnership or the longevity. Then it comes to the engagement phase. This is more of a personal relationship and philosophical compatibility. It is more of a formalization of alliance between the two companies. As on a personal ground, the engagement when it's done between the two people, they are known to be as a engaged couple. So similarly, when the two organizations sit together on the same table with the same formalization, with a starting or drafting of an agreement or structuring their relationship. So they that comes to a strengthen of their relationship from the internal key stakeholders and external key stakeholders for to come up with to an alliance to gain broader acceptance and support. Here, strengthening of relationship can be done on product line continuity, where the product line and it avoid the disruption, and it might affect the broader market relationships. Further, final stage is formalizing the agreement of the specific venture or project or merger. So commitment to resources on financial, human or technical. The ownership is very important. Continuing autonomy is very important to maintain the independence. So it is like a being in the formal arrangement or formal agreement, or on a personal ground. When it compare, it is like a marriage. When the two people come together, they come with the commitment. They come with the commitment to the resources, the ownership, the management, how they'll manage their lives. Similarly, the organization, when they come together with a common common agreement, the groundwork of the framework has been designed, and it is between the two organizations. So discovery of differences in strategic alliances is very critical phase, where the alliances becomes operational and employees from both companies start working together. So there are certain issues. One is perception gaps, where the top executives may have very strong vision and shared commitment for partnerships. And when it's not fully understand, then it creates a problem. Cultural and operational differences, because the conflicts may arise because of the people coming from different backgrounds, or maybe even the operational differences is because of the authority level. The operational differences is more of a technical standards, product difference, development timelines, or sales targets, or sales processes. Financial conflicts relates with the finance or the economic conditions of an or both the organization, maybe the licensing fee or the royalties or the compensations, rewards, recognition, no, on the finance, related issues. Complexity with increased collaboration is when the financial issues become more complex. These financials are may address, if not addressed proactively, it may create a disintegration. So that creates the complex relationship, and that may create the complexity within the organization. The miscommunication and misalignment is very important issue, which create because of not being the natural fit within an organization. So it has to be taken care of time to time. Managing the discovery of differences is first, it need to be early conflict resolution, flexibility and adaptation, and clear governance and communication channels has to be taken care of. The addresses, it should be addressed on a very open communication, and when we discover the differences, it is very challenging, and the both partners need to sit together and strengthen their collaboration by making the addressing the issues at a very early stage, where it should not fall into a complexity. So there are certain key mechanism which needs to be required for building the strategic integration, where the vision evolution or the purpose, mission, vision is, it has to be aligned. Middle management collaboration, where the working groups are aligned. Operational integration about the smooth day-to-day working or training and development or technological integration. Interpersonal integration refers to building the relationship between the people within an organization, and the cultural integration is more of cultural compatibility and commitments. The importance is required not only to foster the collaboration and trust, but also to align the organization, both the organizational goals to the various level, which not only reduce the conflict but also leads to the long-term viability of the alliance. And these all mechanisms ensure the alliance is not just a strong foundation, but also able to achieve and adapt over the time. The evolution of strategic alliances in emerging market is more of learning and adaptation, borrowing ideas from each other about the skills, knowledge, and the navigating the complex alliances and the changing regulatory environments and marketing dynamics. The certain stages of alliance evolution is nascent stage, frenzied stage, turbulent stage, and mature stage. Nascent stage is very early stage where the it is primarily driven by strict regulation. Then it comes to a stage where it comply with local ownership. Then it comes to turbulent age where reevaluating, restructuring, and dissolution of alliances as both partners explore. And the mature is when they are settled together, when the regulatory frameworks are made, when it evolved into the structure, and there are certain compliances and regulatory frameworks are made. So these are the basic four stages, and implications are increased. It not only increase the knowledge and skills, it is also adapting to changing environment, cultural and organizational change. So making the strategic alliance work is very important, and reconsidering the need for strategic alliance in emerging markets is why we are forming it. So alternative approach to alliance is virtual alliance, where the textile or creating a necessary capabilities. One of the success stories also given in Indian ceramic tile industry, where it is self-reliant model by acquiring technology and reach to 150% in just 4 years. So challenges mainly is management complexity and technological availability, where coordination and relationship management and global technology availability. When the best example in 1993, when it was high wave of Gillette came into, and the low cost players have maintained a dominant market share by focus on affordability rather than brand quality. Emerging markets is more of when we talk about the sustainable partnerships or long term. Building a strong coalition is ongoing mutual trust, commitment to success, and of course, navigating to the power shifts. So there are certain possible practical steps for managing emerging market alliance is not only monitoring power dynamics, but also to adapt to changes and focus on mutual benefits. So alliance strategies for global companies is more of position early, shape the market, think broadly about partner capabilities, involve key decision makers and fully global capabilities to the table, focus on control rather than ownership, understanding the motivation of both the family owned business or it has to be on a mutual flexibility or partnership terms. So overall, we have seen the emerging market alliance can create sustainable growth platforms for both local and global companies. And there are different challenges that are faced by alliances in mature markets. And we have also learned about how it should be determined not only by prospective partners, but also to bring to a deal or to a same table how it values those chips going forward. Thank you so much for today. Namaste.